What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from Zoom again, and this time we are here with Bonded. Great to be able to talk with you all today. Thanks for being here.
Nice, thank,
Hello, hi Alex.
nice to talk to
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to you as well. This is the second day in a row I'm interviewing a band from Germany. That's where my ancestry hails from as well, so always great to talk to fellow Germans on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Where in
What
Germany?
what other band, if I may, if I dare to ask, what other band did you interview just before?
Oh, yesterday I interviewed Der Weg and der Freiheit. I can't pronounce
Ah,
that to
all
save the
right.
life of me,
It's
but
it's a black metal band, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I've always said that Germany, because like with America, you have like your metalcore bands or this Sweden's death metal, but Germany is like I've always said Germany is like the UN for all metal genres: thrash, black, industrial, metalcore. It seems like every genre is
Yeah.
thriving out there.
Yeah, we have a couple of bands in Germany.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
some.
but it's so awesome to have you guys here. We got your sophomore album out now, Into Blackness. Did you just consider this picking up where you left off after Rest in Violence, or being that this was the sophomore album, you kind of wanted to maybe take a new approach and maybe experiment a little bit with your sound?
Um, so you know that we after we released Rest and Violence, we had to stop the whole promotion for that album because of the pandemic,
Yeah,
and so. Of course, we were really disappointed in that moment, and but we knew from the beginning that we have to handle this situation as good as possible. And so we started directly after the lockdown in last year. We started directly with the songwriting for the next album, and COVID allows us. We have much more time than usual, and we could use the time with writing songs. We're making a very long pre-production for the next CD, and so we got really much time for a better sound, and we are very happy about this. Of course, nobody likes the fucking pandemic, but in this way, it was a really advantage for us, and we really enjoyed the time that we have for the second CD now.
hmm
Uh, I mean, we had the need, to promote our new band. We had just had a good debut album coming out. Got a lot of good reviews. Everybody was on it. And we were hungry, and then we're just sorted out from the COVID thing.
yeah.
And couldn't do nothing. So what's the best way to promote your band? Just beside writing new songs and making another record.
Yeah. Well,
At least.
I gotta tell you though, like we were able to go into the pandemic with Rest and Violence, that had that powerful thrash, relentless side to it, and now we have Into Blackness that continues to reflect the anger that we've had. So I think really, in a way, that Bonded is going to go down as because when you look at every thrash band, they're always associated with like a historical sort of turning point. You see the history with Metallica, you see the history with Testament, and then you would see the history with a band like Havoc or Power Trip. Now I think people are going to go back and say Bonded is the thrash metal band of these times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah.
and hopefully it's continued with something positive. I mean, uh, and all this pandemic thing is not that good,
Yeah.
And yeah, what can we say?
Yeah. D-
Uh, let's view it from a positive aspect. You may right.
Being that if I know it's kind of like a whataboutism in a way, but like to say like if the pandemic didn't happen, we may have not have gotten Into Blackness, or at least not as soon as we did. Did maybe these uncertain times influence the songwriting? Did you guys approach this maybe differently than what you would have done on Rest in Violence in terms of the songwriting or maybe the lyricism and whatnot?
Who knows? After all the bones. That's kind of a very good question. I mean, who can say what would happen if if so? Nobody can say. Uh, I guess the pandemic didn't influence our songwriting that much. Beside maybe a little more persons and a little more drops of frustration, which allowed us to create even more kind of a hateful attitude to perform. But on the other hand, we had the approach, to top our debut album, which is a strong record, and that was at first the task to solve.
Yeah. And what I've noticed about this album is like once you open up with the Arsonist and then you kick right into Watch, and then you kick right into Lilith, and then the Holy Whore and Division of the Damned. It almost seems like this album is completely relentless. Was there at all maybe like a preconceived idea of what you wanted Into Blackness to sound like, or was there maybe like a lot of improvising with the instrumentation and the lyricism?
So we don't follow a master plan about the songs we are writing. So maybe there's also Destroy the Things I Love. It's a slower song. So we don't have a plan for this. And so maybe the next CD will be again a little different. So what we want, and so we love the contrast in the songs. We love the contrast between brutality and melodies on the other side. And this, I guess, this is something special about Bonded, and maybe this is the difference maybe to other thrash metal bands. And for us, it's always important to sound as varied as possible. Of course, within our borders, we are a thrash metal band, and we will always be. But we don't want to have a set only in the same speed and in the same rhythm. Of course, we love to play with contrast, and we want to keep the thing interesting.
Yeah.
And this is very, very important for us.
I don't think thrash metal, and this could be the most controversial thing I'll ever say on the interview, so congrats to be associated with it, but like, I've always said that if it wasn't for the slower songs in some of the greatest thrash bands, I don't think it would have made it as strong as it was, whether it is Metallica's Fade to Black or Testament's Return to Serenity, or, some of the more, or Megadeth's To Tout le Monde. Like, it almost seems like, or In My Darkest Hour, it always seems like there is a slow song that could umph it a little more. So it's fair to say that we can maybe be expecting some love ballads from Bonded very soon.
No, fuck no, love.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get a love ballad from Bonded, then it will be a Bonded love ballad. It will be different. Maybe to the classical love ballads you probably are used to.
Yeah, well, as somebody who worked
on I don't think so. We're at the end of the day, we're still a thrash metal band, and we want to be a thrash metal band. First of all, of course, we like to just like Brenneman says, we like to find out different approaches and try to test how far can we go inside this thrash metal cage, but we want to stay inside. We don't want to reach out and let's say it like this: you don't have to expect a reggae or dub war album from Bonded on the next record. So you can trust that it will be a thrash metal album.
Never say never.
Beside that, it's fun to do different styles. I mean, Destroy the Things I Love, for example. Which is a little bit out of the thrash metal pace you're used to, is our internal joke called our own orgasmatron. It's our version. Because when we started to write the song and started to think over what kind of voice or what kind of singing could you do, so we had different tries, and we had several approaches, and which were close, but did not top it. Mm-hmm. And then I said, hey, come on, let's just do it Lemmy style and just do it dirty and down. And that worked. Yeah. So
And it's funny.
It's our own guitar, I guess.
It's funny you like emphasize the word thrash. I love having this because thrash metal is amazing. It's one of the most powerful styles of music that there is. But Metallica sounds very different from Slayer, and Slayer sounds very different from Sepultura, which sounds very different from Power Trip, for example. Rest in peace to Riley.
Yeah.
Like, to you, what? I would like both your inputs on this. What makes it thrash? What is the principle of thrash? Is it a rhythmic element? Is it a riffing element? Like, what is like a principle that every thrash band that ties them all together?
Yeah, riffing for me, it's as a guitarist, of course, riffing is the first thing I am thinking of. If you imagine, I grew up with the sounds, or I started making music with the riffs from Exodus, from Testament, and even Slayer. This is for me is the first difference. Yeah, it's the really tight riffing from before it was called a speed metal, as much as I remember in the 80s, and this was the first difference for me. Yeah. And second is the of course the vocals. The vocal style, it's much more aggressive than you compare this with any power metal band. So the whole sound, I cannot say maybe it's the rhythm. It's all, it sounds just more aggressive, much more aggressive. It doesn't have to be faster, but it has to sound more aggressive. Double bass rhythms and brutal riffing and aggressive voice that makes the difference for me.
Yeah.
I would say, and I would define thrash metal for myself, just as you said before, there are so different styles inside this style. Slayer doesn't sound like Megadeth, doesn't sound like Metallica, doesn't sound like Pantera and stuff. And although they're all united under the motto thrash metal, and for me it's also brutal riffing and a certain pace of drumming, of course, mostly combined with a double bass attack, an aggressive attitude through the voice, because just like Bannerman says, also power metal bands have good riffs and a strong metal style, but it differs just from the approach of the singing, the vocal lines. Yeah. And thrash metal singers should always give something full force, in my opinion. But of course, it's a matter of taste in the end. There's also this a little kind of funny annotation, I have to say. Scholli, the guitar player from Assassin, used to say, if you can snap to it, it's no thrash metal. I beg to differ. I think it's differently, because I'm a real big Pantera fan, and you can snap very good to Pantera songs because they're fucking groovy. Yeah. And in my opinion, still thrash metal. But I can get what he means with this. Thrash metal always has this kind of also, dirty and wild attitude. It's a mixture between metal and punk, a bit style about this, and that's different from other styles inside the metal scene.
Yeah, I've always said thrash metal is denim metal. That's the other name for it. It's always there's a lot of denim and leather. But and you could snap to thrash metal. You just need really, really, really fast fingers. I mean, like,
that's what I try to tell Scholli.
Yeah, like.
But he means. No, then the beats per minute are not enough. You have to play fast. No, just one-handed slipping, Yeah.
I can't wait for the people on YouTube.
You're thinking, you're using two hands.
Yeah. Or like what is it? Slayer, like yeah.
But by the way, if an alien would visit the Earth and would ask the first human being, what is thrash metal, what record would you play him?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot asking this? Oh.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
That's easy.
Because I want to answer, but I'm asking. I'm polite. I'm just asking you before.
Beneath the Remains by Sepultura.
Sepultura.
Yep.
I would say Rain and Blood.
Oh,
In
really?
any case, Rain and Blood.
Yeah.
This is for me this blueprint of thrash metal.
Okay, but the
So if
thing
you want
is,
to, you don't need to explain nothing. You just put the record on and say, listen to this for 30 minutes, and then you know what thrash metal is.
well, the thing is, the reason why is because Rain and Blood, I'll forever have respect to that album. It's deserving of its legacy. But to me, what makes thrash also so compelling is its underground charm in a way. And Rain and Blood is like people who don't even like metal know of that album. It's same thing with like Master of
Yeah, of
Puppets.
course,
Yeah,
it's kind of mainstream, but it doesn't change, you know, the whole attitude and the whole. I mean, listen to the song still today. It's 35 years old, and they're still kicking my ass. If honest.
yeah,
I mean, they're also kind of top right on point, produced from Rick Rubin, of course, but I mean the whole package
yeah.
probably. And of course, I give you that. There are so many other approaches to thrash metal, which are also thrash metal. But you know, just for instance, if you have to really a few seconds to have to explain what is it, yeah, that is it.
Fair enough. And one thing that I've always found admirable about thrash metal too is because when you take a genre like hardcore, for example, right? It's all very rebellious in its lyricism. You take a band like power metal or a genre like power metal, it's very fantasy oriented. But I think thrash metal, you could sing about anything. There's elements of, great singers have incorporated their personal life and experiences into it. They've incorporated metaphysical fantasy elements. They've incorporated political elements. They've brought in historical references and futuristic references. For Bonded, could maybe a concept or maybe a subject matter influence your music? Is there sort of like a subject matter or a meaning that revolves around Bonded's music, or just as you said with your songwriting, the lyricism also explores in different directions in the same vein?
It differs. We have both parts inside of Bonnet, you know, and we have a little concept, a lyrical concept. Also on the debut album on Rest and Violence, there was a concept on three songs, which dealt with some kind of a science fiction horror storyline. Let's say it like this. It was on Galaxy. It was on the beginning of the end, on the Arrival. These are the three tracks from Rest and Violence, which were dealing with this kind of lyrical concept. And of course, on a new album, Into Blackness, there's a lyrical concept as well. I'm alluding to a book I really like, which is called "The Division of the Damned," such just like one title of one of our songs on the album. And to sum it up, it deals with the storyline about kind of a Tarantino styled fictional story uh, placed in the Second World War, where the Germans are about to lose the war, and Himmler reaches out to the Far East to a mystical count that provides and promises him the ultimate final weapon to win the war, undead vampire Nazis. And yeah, that's the basic storyline about that. A good mate of mine, Reginald Rice Jones, did write that book, and yeah, it inspired me to follow the line. Also on the second album, to place a little concept thing inside the lyrics, and we also combined that with our artwork for Into Blackness. The title "Into the Blackness of a Wartime Night" is one song title of the album. Also influenced the title of the whole record, but we try to keep it a little bit shorter, you know, because for sure, if we have used the whole song title, everybody has shortened it by itself. It's Into Blackness. On one hand, and on the other hand, Into Blackness is more also alluding to the rest of the songs, because just like as you mentioned before, there are also lyrics on the record are dealing with personal experiences, just like, you know, Destroy the Things I Love is a very personal song, and Ill-Minded Freak is some other topic I was dealing with. So yeah, of course, you have the possibility and the variety to use very different topics for lyrics.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
to be honest, it also has to have a certain kind of evilness, at least. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like just before I said, you can sing about daisies in thrash metal, but nobody will like it, so you don't do.
This song's about daisies. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
But
gonna.
that's more the kind of a hardcore style way. Yeah?
All right.
Let's talk about daisies.
Well, okay. Name an object. I will. I think everything in the world is metal. Name an object, and I will tell you why it is metal.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I have to think it over. Come on, answer, please.
What?
The pandemic is metal.
Well,
This is really brutal, and yeah. So I guess that COVID maybe is metal because it's really brutal and
daisies are the most
deadly.
Daisies are the most metal flower on the planet. Daisies shine themselves to be so beautiful, but also pass on a deadly allergy that have killed millions of people, and many essences of vermin gravitated to feed off. So while the daisies kill humans, vermins feed off of it and let it rot into the ground. If daisies aren't metal, I don't know what is.
Oh, it seems I'm not that into daisies as you are so far, but probably I have to repeat something there. I don't know.
Yeah, butterflies are metal. I mean, they're only able
If
to.
you say so.
Yeah,
What can be metal?
even
I mean,
butterflies are
life
metal.
is metal.
Of course.
Butterflies, I mean, only able to evolve by lying in their own catacomb of darkness that's self-made. How do you get more metal than that? But before I go off on a never-ending tangent and delay
Right.
every other interview that you probably have today, before we go, I want to thank you so much for a really, really fun chat. Is there just anything else that you would like to promote with Bonded? Is there a chance you could bring Bonded to the States? We would love to have you all here one day.
Yeah, we really would love to come.
Great. Yeah.
We would like to enter the stage in the States and yeah, hopefully make it to New York someday.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
And throughout that, everybody over there, stay healthy, take care for you and your family, and let's cross the fingers and press the thumbs to fight that thing and to probably come to some normality at some point.
Yeah.
Someday, who knows?
One day. But thank you all so much, everybody. We are here with Bonded. Check out Into Blackness, out now on Century Media. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York.
Okay.